going through the no-fly zone because it's a medical emergency. And what do they see? In the ice, like a huge entrance to a cave, but slanted going down. And he said, I think it was at least, Linda, 200 feet in diameter.
When President Biden announced the closure of Antarctica, it was because a massive trillion-ton iceberg broke off, posing a danger to the planet. The drone footage showed alarming findings that made the shutdown necessary. But to everyone's surprise, the drone revealed not only the massive iceberg, but also a strange sighting. What exactly did they find to cause such a reaction? Let us explore the real story behind the government's decision that is making the whole world nervous. Hidden Antarctic truths revealed. In light of these confusing situations, a former Navy officer teamed up with a dedicated reporter on an adventure that could change our understanding of history. They've dug up startling details about what could be hidden under the Antarctic ice. Their research suggests there might be an unknown military base there, possibly concealing UFOs. This bold claim has caught the attention of even the most doubtful people and has clicked with those who believe in aliens. The idea that evidence of life from other planets might be right under our noses, frozen beneath the ice in Antarctica, is pretty wild. How did Brian, once a naval flight officer, come across what he now thinks is a base for aliens? What would it mean if it had turned out that the most influential leaders and organizations in the world were keeping this huge revelation hidden? These pressing questions take us back to an important time in early 2015. That's when Linda Moll, an investigative journalist, received a cryptic message from Brian, who had retired by then. He talked about his time in Antarctica during the 1980s and 1990s. While he was there, he flew over the continent for about 4,000 hours. During these flights, he saw many odd things that didn't make sense. Brian's story makes us question whether world leaders are really being open and truthful. It also makes us think deeply about the impact of such hidden truths. If what Brian is saying turns out to be true, it could shake up our understanding of history and make us rethink what we know about the icy stretches of Antarctica. While flying over the cold, vast wilderness of Antarctica, Brian saw something very unusual: a perfectly circular hole cut into the ice, which led to a cave that glowed from the inside. This strange sight was found during a flight that had to enter a no-fly zone because of a supposed medical emergency. As they got closer, the view was incredible. A large, tilted entrance in the ice, about 200 feet wide, suggested there were things below the surface. Imagine flying over the coldest, most remote part of the world and finding a huge, cryptic hole that seems to lead to something unknown. The discovery of this hole during a restricted flight adds layers of intrigue and conspiracy to Brian's story. It makes you wonder what might be hidden under the vast, unexplored parts of Antarctica. Could there really be an alien base there? And if so, why would it be kept a riddle? The idea that leaders and powerful groups might be keeping such information hidden from the public is troubling. It suggests that there might be things happening on Earth that could change our understanding of life and our place in the universe. If the world found out that there was indeed an alien stronghold in Antarctica, it would raise questions about what else is being hidden from public view. As Brian, an experienced naval engineer, and his crew neared the circular ice formation, their equipment started acting up, with all the instruments showing errors. The disruptions were so extreme that they had to perform an emergency restart of the aircraft's systems. This strange event made everyone on board wonder what kind of forces were interfering with their equipment just by approaching this ice formation. Things took an even more unsettling turn when Brian found out that all records of this strange event had been taken away by some high-ranking officials. To make matters worse, Brian and his co-pilots started feeling left out and isolated by their fellow naval officers. This exclusion added a personal strain to their already challenging professional lives, making them feel both confused and frustrated. Realizing the seriousness of what they had stumbled upon, reporter Linda Moll decided to investigate further. Motivated by a strong sense of duty and perhaps defiance against being silenced, Brian was eager to share more details about what he had seen. He spoke of a specific mission in 1987 that started as a simple supply delivery from McMurdo Station, but ended up leading them to a remote and abandoned camp deep in the heart of Antarctica. This camp wasn't just run down. It looked like someone had intentionally wiped clean any sign that people had ever been there. This eerie discovery, combined with their earlier encounter with the cryptic ice formation, suggested that Antarctica might be hiding things far beyond simple natural phenomena. Brian and Linda found more hidden truths about Antarctica that changed everything they thought they knew. The incredible search for truth. Driven by these chilling revelations, Linda felt a deeper urgency to uncover the truth. Her conversations with Brian revealed a pattern of unexplained occurrences and cover-ups that pointed to possible covert activities on the continent. The more they uncovered, the more they realized that Antarctica was not just a land of ice and snow, but a place shrouded in shadows that could have significant implications. As Brian and Linda dig deeper, watch how their findings begin to reveal a broader, more complex picture that challenges our understanding. Unmasking the hidden forces shaping Antarctica. This sense of confused only deepened as they pieced together fragmented reports and testimonies from other isolated encounters across the continent. Each story seemed to confirm the presence of unknown elements and activities hidden from the public eye. The isolation and secrecy surrounding these incidents painted a stark picture of a continent where more than just scientific research was happening under the guise of normal operations. Linda's determination to bring these stories to light led her to seek out other witnesses, scientists, engineers, and even retired military personnel who had experienced similar anomalies. Their accounts added credibility to Brian's experiences and suggested a pattern of suppression and secrecy that might be concealing earth-shattering discoveries. As Linda and Brian dug deeper into their research, they started to realize just how massive the hidden complexities buried beneath Antarctica's ice could be. What they were finding wasn't just intriguing for scholars, it pointed to phenomena that could totally shake up our global understanding. This push drove them further into the icy wilderness, hunting for solid proof that could confirm the existence of unusual activities. If made public, this information could drastically change our view of what's possible, both on Earth and beyond. Why was the camp left deserted? Were these strange occurrences just random, or did they indicate a larger pattern of concealment and deception? These questions hung in the freezing Antarctic air, suggesting that some individuals would go to great lengths to keep certain discoveries out of the public eye. The way the authorities responded to Brian's alarming experiences hinted at a story far from the usual, sparking a determined quest for truth that might reveal the deep hidden complexities of this icy realm. Imagine finding an abandoned campsite in Antarctica, completely empty of any signs of past human presence. This find was just the start of a series of even more baffling events. Following this eerie discovery, a wave of disappearances rocked the continent. Alarmingly, 38 people vanished while traveling from Chile to Antarctica, leaving absolutely no clues. At the same time, those monitoring communications in the area picked up strange radio transmissions in languages that couldn't be understood. These strange broadcasts seemed to be directly linked to the disappearances, emerging from deep beneath the ice just before each person went missing. This added a new layer of complexity and urgency to the ongoing events in this remote region. During this perplexing time, Brian's co-pilot spotted an extraordinarily large and reflective aircraft passing by their cockpit. Brian described it as a sleek, white, saucer-shaped craft, over 100 feet in diameter, unlike any familiar earthly design. When they reported this sighting during a mission over the Transantarctic Mountains, it coincided with other sightings of similar metallic objects in the sky. These objects performed aerial maneuvers that seemed to defy the capabilities of conventional aircraft, further adding to the crew's bafflement. These odd sightings and troubling disappearances suggested that something extraordinary was happening in Antarctica. The repeated encounters with unexplained phenomena indicated that there might be concealed activities or technologies at work under the ice, hidden from the public's view. The evasive responses from authorities and the absence of straightforward answers only fueled more speculation and theories about what was really happening in this secluded part of the world. Authorities reacted swiftly and strangely. Men in black suits, along with senior naval officers, quickly headed to the now deserted McMurdo Station. Their purpose seemed clear. They were there to suppress the spreading rumors about unexplainable events that no one could clarify. They confronted Brian, strongly urging him to retract his statements about his sightings, hinting at severe consequences for revealing these complex situations. Even with the pressure to stay quiet, Brian kept digging and found more surprising things under the ice, navigating the hidden dangers of Antarctica. Navigating this intense pressure was tough for Brian, but his encounters with the unknown didn't end there. While on a mission, he detected a faint signal emanating from beneath an ice shelf. Following this lead, he discovered several more unusual, perfectly circular holes in the ice. When he attempted a closer inspection, his aircraft suddenly lost the ability to communicate. Fortunately, he and his team managed to restore their systems just in time to prevent a potential crash. Driven by a sense of duty and his own curiosity, Brian tried to transmit coded messages to share his findings. However, these actions quickly attracted the attention of another secretive group. This time, representatives from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, known for developing cutting-edge military technologies, approached him. They were blunt and serious. They were not there for a friendly chat. They made it crystal clear to Brian he must remain silent about everything he had witnessed and experienced in the Antarctic skies. This series of events paints a grim picture of a situation shrouded in concealment, where even abandoned campsites and unusual aerial sightings prompted immediate and severe responses from high-level officials. These actions suggest significant undertakings beneath the serene, icy surface of Antarctica, involving forces and occurrences that challenge our usual understanding of the world. The hidden complexities being concealed are substantial, prompting the curious and brave to ponder what truly lies in the depths of Antarctica's vast, frozen isolation. The more Brian and others investigate, the more it appears that Antarctica is a place of profound complexities, not merely a remote, frozen wilderness. The interactions with unknown aircraft and strange signals indicate that this continent may be a center for activities not only hidden from public view, but also potentially of major importance. Whether these involve experiments, concealed bases, or other significant endeavors, the lengths to which authorities go to maintain concealment underscore the potential significance of these matters. With increasing evidence and mounting threats, watch how Brian's resolve leads him to forge new alliances and venture into uncharted territories. Who's behind the curtain in Antarctica? Despite the intimidation tactics used by the strange men in black suits designed to instill fear, Brian was not easily frightened. Even under great pressure to remain silent, he felt a deep-seated guilt for withholding what he knew about the disappearance of scientists from various Antarctic stations. His resolve to do what he believed was right remained strong, even though he understood the serious personal risks involved. However, Brian's situation began to shift when he joined forces with Linda, a dedicated investigative journalist who was deeply committed to uncovering hidden truths. When Linda joined the team, things really started to move forward in their quest to find out what was actually happening in Antarctica. Her endless energy was a major boost. She began a comprehensive mission to note down every unusual event connected to this frozen land. She reached out to a broad mix of people, collecting tales from anyone eager to talk, no matter their job or life experiences. This helped them build a strong collection of evidence supporting the odd things Brian had seen. The stories they gathered were both interesting and a bit worrying. Witnesses talked about seeing strange aircraft silently moving across the icy landscape and mentioned picking up odd signals that seemed to come from under the ice. Some saw unidentified objects moving incredibly fast through the waters of the Southern Ocean. These stories suggested that temporary structures were being quickly built and then taken down, perhaps to cover up any trace of hidden activities happening there. These accounts showed Antarctica as more than just a remote, ice-covered wilderness, but as a place bustling with hidden operations and activities that weren't made public. As Linda and Brian dug deeper into these stories, they began to understand the scale of the hidden challenges that surrounded the continent. Their investigation suggested that Antarctica was being used for more than just scientific studies, possibly including global stakes and undercover military operations. The deeper they went into their investigation, the clearer the dangers of revealing these challenges became. but also the more important their work seemed. Every new bit of evidence pointed to powerful groups manipulating events and information to keep the real nature of their activities hidden. This realization pushed Linda and Brian even more to bring these undercover activities to light, encouraging them to keep going despite the risks. Linda's strong will to find the truth uncovered dark things that suggested more than just scientific work in Antarctica. Uncovering the dark side of Antarctica, Linda's investigation became even more intense when she came across obituaries of several researchers who had strangely and unclearly died in Antarctica. Each death, wrapped in concealment, added to the troubling trend of unexplained deaths in the area. This suggested that the tough environmental conditions were not the only dangers these researchers faced. There seemed to be something more sinister causing their early deaths. Over time, her research uncovered more troubling details. Linda found out that, for many years, confidential missions had been carried out by some of the most powerful scientific and military groups in the world. These missions were kept hidden, raising big questions about the real reasons behind these operations. Were these organizations just doing scientific research, or were there darker, more hidden motives for their presence in such a harsh and remote area? The more Linda investigated, the more she and Brian found themselves caught in a complicated web of political maneuvering. It looked like several countries were quietly competing for control over Antarctica, each secretly claiming parts of it to establish their presence. This quiet battle added another layer of complexity to the unclear operations on the icy terrain. As they put together the clues, a larger and more worrying picture began to emerge, hinting at a vast, hidden story unfolding deep beneath the continent's frozen surface. The implications of their findings were huge. They realized that what they were uncovering might concern not just those involved with Antarctic affairs, but could also affect the whole world. The hidden realities buried in the ice could potentially change how the global community sees what was really going on in one of Earth's least understood regions. Their investigative journalism continued to uncover these shadowy operations, slowly revealing the layers of concealment that had long hidden Antarctica. Each new discovery pointed to a carefully planned cover-up, designed to keep the true scale and nature of the operations out of public view. The evidence suggested that these were not isolated events, but part of a larger strategy involving multiple countries and possibly extending beyond just scientific or military interests. The serious issues surrounding Antarctica have raised big concerns about the exploitation of its natural resources and the worrying possibility that nuclear weapons could be placed there. These concerns remain important, and even today, Linda faces many obstacles in her investigative journalism. She runs into barriers from various security agencies, some lurking in the shadows and others completely unknown to the public. These agencies have tried to stop her from finding out the truth. Despite these obstacles, the general public has started to notice her efforts, and support for Linda has been growing among those who see the importance of her work. It's becoming more and more clear that the future health of our planet might depend on how open we are about the hidden activities happening in Antarctica. Despite attempts by powerful people to keep the truth hidden, the support Linda receives is completely justified. She is leading the effort to reveal the real activities on the icy continent, which could be crucial for us to understand bigger truths about our world. As her important investigations continue, we need to focus on verifying facts instead of giving in to baseless doubts and fears. Embracing this fact-based approach could be crucial for progress on a global scale, as new discoveries in Antarctica have the potential to dramatically change historical narratives. For Brian, a retired naval engineer, his initial desire to see the stark beauty of the world's largest frozen desert has turned into a deep involvement with stories of alien activities and strange deaths among scientists. These scientists had gone to one of Earth's least understood areas to conduct their research, but faced untimely and strange deaths. Despite the unsettling nature of these events, Brian's interest has only grown. Did President Biden really shut down Antarctica to protect us from the iceberg? Or is there something far more sinister hidden beneath the ice? Could there be things that the government doesn't want us to know? Tell us what you think in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more.